Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is day number 9 of the 31 Days Craft Challenge. I am quite a bit behind, but I've decided I'm going to continue on. Even if it takes me more than 31 days to get 31 projects done, I'm okay with that. Today we're going to be working on a couple of cards that are created just from my scraps. Something quick and easy and simple that was already there in my scrap bin. Okay, to start, I had 2 pieces of card fronts that I was going to use on my previous project. One is embossed with the Country Floral embossing folder and sprayed with shimmer mist. And then the other one, I used the scripty, I'm not sure what it was called, but it's one with the scripty lettering on it. I decided to use that. I was going to put them, just layer them together because they do look amazing just layered together. But then I decided that I would prefer to have 2 separate cards. So there is the one. I'm not sure if you can see the shimmer on it, but I am trying to show it to you, but you really don't see it on camera. And there's the other one that it has scripted lettering on it, run through the emboss machine. I just sponged on some Highland Heather on top of that just to give it more depth. The other one was the one where I put the ink right on the embossing folder and sent it through. It was just an extra piece I had made up. I was just gonna lay them together, maybe put some kind of banner or something on the front, but I don't want to cover up either piece completely, so I decided to do 2 separate cards. Now through this pile of scraps that I had, these are little bits that were left over from other projects. Some of them are recent, some of them are really old, and I just wanted to pick out things that I could use on this card. Basically, this is not all I have. This is just colors that I thought would coordinate okay. So the first card I'm doing wasn't too bad to decide what I wanted to put on there. I picked one of the hearts that I had left over, as well as a label. I'm not sure where this label came from, but I did decide to use a different one, one that was smaller. I'm thinking it may have come from a bigger punch where I just punched a smaller piece in it. And then the happy birthday was in my pile of stuff as well. So it just fit nicely with those, and the colors did okay. I'm going to mount this one on a Highland Heather card base. It took me a while to decide what pieces I wanted. I did realize that one was just too big, but then I found this one which would be was a little bit more appropriate. So that was good for that one. The second card took me a lot longer to decide, so I cut out a lot of it from the video because I just could not decide what to do with this card, because the background was a little bit more not so bold, so I couldn't decide what to do. So here we are. I did just pick out what I needed, and I'm just going to attach the front of these cards to their card bases. The one with the Country Floral embossing folder I did in Highland Heather. The other one I just did in Whisper White. I'm just going to use some Tombow Mono liquid adhesive or some kind of glue. It would work. Any kind of glue would work. I think glue would probably be better than a tape runner because there's all those nooks and crannies in the embossing folder or on the embossed piece. And I'm just going to attach that to the Highland Heather piece. Trying to decide which way up I would like it to go. Now for the heart, I'm using the fine line glue tip glue pen, and I'm just going to dab it off on a scrap piece of paper just so I don't have all the glue squirting out onto my project. You could also use the sponge method where you take a piece of sponge and dab it into the glue and then dab it onto the project, but I think this works has the same effect doing it this way. I just don't, when you're working on something so narrow, I don't like it. If there's too much glue, it squishes out. If there's not enough, it doesn't stay down. So this works for me. And then you just flip it over and pat it off so some of the glue, any extra glue, is not going to be on your piece that you're trying to glue down. You can also maybe use glue dots, probably work for this too, because you can roll those up pretty small. Just place that on top, place the banner using dimensionals and the happy birthday as well. And now I'm trying to decide whether I wanted some kind of embellishment on it. Decided I didn't need anything and left it alone. I'm going to finish the inside off camera just to save space on the video. Okay, so now moving on to the other card, which is going to be mounted onto white. I'm taking the card front and just going to make sure it's the upside right and attach it with the same glue with the Tombow Mono. It looks like there's lots of glue there, but it's a really tiny bead that came out. Now I remembered I wanted to put a piece of lace underneath, and I forgot to put it first, so I just didn't bother. And you can tell I just kind of threw it away. I'm going to attach the heart. I'm going to do the same thing with the heart as I did with the other one. Just kind of put some, tap on the glue on the back piece, and then tap it off onto the scrap. Because these have so many little pieces. You could use Stick It or some kind of like Sizzix double-sided adhesive. But I find sometimes there's just so much waste with that I don't really like using that if I can help it. Now for the For You, I decided that it needed some sponging around the outside edge, so I just used Highland Heather and sponged it around. I think the sentiment was actually probably done in maybe Flirty Flamingo. I'm not really sure. Again, I didn't stamp it out. I just used what was in my pile of stuff. Now I'm just going to pop that out using some dimensionals. My dimensionals were kind of big for this little tiny piece, so I'm just going to cut the edge pieces and to make them smaller and attach it to my piece that way. For this one, I think because the card is rather plain, I do want some kind of bling on it, like rhinestones or something glittery. Those were great, gorgeous grape dots, but they were just not right. Finally, I decided that I would just put a little heart, one of these hearts, on the sentiment piece itself, and then left the rest of it just plain. Again, I'm going to do the inside of this card at another time, or off camera. Thinking I still needed something on there, but decided against adding those sequins to it. Okay, so here are the two cards that I did today. This was really quick and simple. Only took me a few minutes to do both cards because I used just the scraps that I had in my overflowing bundle of stuff. If you would like to support me, please head on over to www.dragonfliescreations.stampingup.net. Any order over $50 during the month of January using this host code will receive a gift from me valued at $6.75. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time for day 10.